How's it going, guys? Jacob Two here, back with another video. I brought in over 1 million in sales from cold outreach, and today we're talking about how to open a cold call. This is really important. You've got about 10 seconds to establish authority, trust, relatability. If you don't, you're gonna get hung up on, and no one likes being hung up on the phone. I love cold calling. That's one of the best and fastest ways to book meetings and close deals. So I'm gonna teach you the framework that you need to know to create your own custom cold call opener to have your prospects wanting to book a meeting and eventually buy from you. But before we do, I have a special treat. At the bottom of any of my cold call videos, this is a funny face, right? You'll see that I have this link to a lead generation training where you can get my cold call training document that I use right now to train people on how to do cold outreach. It talks through a lot of these things. It has over 10 actual live cold call examples of me booking meetings on the call. It has actual scripts that I use. It has objection handling frameworks. It has cold call fundamentals. Everything you need to be a beast on the phones you can get right here. Just go, put in your name and your email, and I'll send it over to you. Okay, so when it comes to cold calling versus something like a referral or an inbound lead, there's something to remember. That thing to remember is there's a difference between outbound and inbound, right? When someone comes inbound to you, let's say through a referral, they've already realized they have a problem. Let's say that you're selling marketing services and that someone comes to you for marketing. They heard from a friend that you could help them. This means that they already thought to themselves, oh, I don't have enough business. I want to have a consistent flow of leads. How can I do that? And they start Googling around and they find that, oh, Facebook ads can help me. Great. Who can do Facebook ads for me? And then they started asking their friends for referrals. So they were at the point where they had such a big problem that it drove them to look up solutions. And eventually to ask one of their trusted colleagues for help, and then you were the one that they were referred to, which means that they're dying to buy already. They have a pressing problem, they want it solved, and they trust you. So it's the easiest sale in the world. Now compare that with an outbound sale, specifically a cold call where you're interrupting their day, right? Not just to help them, but at the end of the day, you're interrupting them. And you give them a call, and they're not in the mood to buy. They're probably in a meeting or doing something else. They're not thinking about the problem. They definitely don't know what the solution is, most likely, right? Most of the time, people are not actively seeking out a solution. Otherwise, they would have called you, right? So, of course, when they say I'm not interested, it's like, yeah, I know. You would have called me if you were interested. I'm calling you. I get it. So what's the difference? The difference is that they have a problem, but they don't know what the solution is yet, and they don't know that you can help them. So it's your job to diagnose their pain and give them the solution. You are a doctor diagnosing a disease. So you have to know what the problem is that you're solving before you go out and you find it. And once you find it, you need to articulate that problem to them and make them feel the pain and realize that they have a problem too. And once that happens, boom, they'll book a meeting and you can go in and see if it really is relevant to them. An example I like to use is, let's say you are selling a supplement, right, to overweight people. You're selling a supplement, right? Supplements don't really make pain go away. They generally just make you maybe feel better. They're generally better for a health-focused market. So an overweight group of people probably won't care that much about it because they clearly aren't so health conscious. So when you go and you offer them your supplement, they might not buy. They're like, yeah, I don't really care. But if you switch it up a little bit and you have an offer for knee pain, if they are overweight, they might have a lot of knee pain because their joints are under a lot of pressure. And they don't realize that they're not in the market for knee pain relief because they don't know that there's a pill that exists for this. But if you go up to them and you say, hey, how do your knees feel after you walk on them all day? They're like, oh, they're killing me. You're like, oh, great. Well, guess what? I have a pill that makes it go away. You want to buy it? They're like, yes. Boom. Sale made. So before you start cold calling, before you think of your opener, you want to think about what's the pain that I'm solving for them? How can I draw out this pain? And that's going to then lead into your opening call script. I'm going to give you a real world example now, and then I'm going to show you how I turn that into a call script. So the first thing you should do, number one, is realize the difference between outbound and inbound. Number two, once you realize that you need to draw out the pain, you should write down what those pains are. So for example, my very first ever cold calling job, which was crazy how I landed this job. I was working at an agency as a salesperson doing cold email. I closed a deal selling my client cold calling services, but both of the cold callers that were hired flunked out within 2 weeks. So I was like, well, my client's going to fail if I don't do this. So I was like, I'll cold call for you. I'll figure it out. So I started cold calling. Lo and behold, I found out I was pretty good at cold calling. But what he was selling was a crazy service in a new market that I didn't even know what it was. I had to figure this out with time. I had to figure out what the problems were with time. By the way, you might not know what your customers' problems are. If you're brand new to this, just pick up the phone, try something, and see what they say. They might tell you, no, this isn't a problem for us. And you can go, okay, what is a problem for you? And they'll tell you. Or what are you focusing on right now? And they'll tell you. And then you can try again until you can start speaking their language. But the point is, here's what I started doing. I was cold calling to sell drug screens and physicals to local businesses in the Indiana and Chicago area, right? Like that region outside of Chicago and Indiana. I'd never been to Chicago, I'd never been to Indiana, didn't know anything about trucking or healthcare or drug screens. So I had to look it up. And the doctor told me that a big problem that they have is that these trucking companies have to go to get Department of Transportation physicals and drug screens before they're allowed to drive. And there aren't really any clinics that are specializing in this service. Most of them, they go to urgent care clinics, for example, general clinics, where they have to wait in line for hours before they can get their drug test done. Right? It doesn't make sense to sit in a waiting room for 5 hours or 2 hours or an hour even to pee in a cup and then leave. So one of their big services they offer is drug screens and physicals, and they specialize in drug screens and physicals, which means the truckers have zero wait times. They just come in, they sit down, actually they don't even sit down. They walk in and walk out basically. So the pain was that truckers were spending a lot of time going to clinics and waiting forever to get back on the road, right? I'm visiting my grandmother for Thanksgiving. Today's Wednesday, and she just came in to call on me. So, sorry for the interruption, but I'm going to just keep rolling with it. So, what I was saying was, these people were used to sending their truckers to clinics and wait an hour or two. It was just part of their day. But they didn't realize, they weren't even aware that they could have a better option. They hate doing it. They always complained about it, but they didn't really think about it, right? So, that was the value prop. That was the pain I had to draw out. The pain that I had to draw out was long wait times and low productivity from workers, right? So knowing that, I'm now armed to go out and call them. These people weren't coming inbound because they weren't aware this was even a solution. That's why they weren't going inbound. I have to go out and get them. But by understanding the problem and articulating it properly, I now am armed to go in and get them to sign up. So that being said, how do you take this pain and translate it into an actual cold calling strategy? So what you do is you have to draw out the pain. You have to give them a good reason for the call, and you have to then ask them an open-ended question with a how or what, like a how or what question that makes them think about the problem. So what I would do is I would call and say, hey, how's it going? Great, awesome. The reason I'm calling you is, again, say this, the reason I'm calling you is, and then within like 10 seconds, you want to articulate your value prop. So what I recommend you do is write down the problems that you solve on a list, notepad, take them out, 1, 2, and 3. These are the problems my customers face, and then the impact of those problems. Our truckers have long wait times. That's the problem. The impact is low productivity, and it's annoying, right? So the solution is, what if you had no wait times? Boom, back to work quickly. It's not annoying. You're in and you're out. So I would call the HR people who were responsible for these drug screens, and I would say, yeah, the reason I'm calling you is HFIT Occupational Health does drug screens and physicals for truckers without any wait times. So your truckers can get in and get out and get back to work really quickly. Just curious, how are you currently handling your drug screens and physicals right now? So I'll break that down. The first part was the reason for the call. The reason I'm calling you is HFIT Occupational Health does drug screens and physicals for drivers with 0 wait times. So you can get in, get out, and get back to work quickly. That took, I think, about 10 seconds for me to say, and it clearly articulates the problem. The problem is, by saying the value prop of 0 wait times, if you read between the lines, I'm kind of insinuating that I know that they already have long wait times. So I'm kind of combining the problem with the value proposition. The value proposition itself addresses the problem with the solution. So the reason I'm calling you is we do drug screens and physicals with 0 wait time. So you can get in and get out and get back to work quickly instead of waiting around for an hour or two. You could say that even, right? That's the first part. And then the second, so that kind of primes them, right? And they're kind of only half listening for probably the first part of it. They're trying to figure out who you are. They want to know when you call, who are you? Why are you calling me? Why do I care? So by throwing in this value proposition, you're kind of letting them know why you're calling and who you are and why they care. And then you ask them the key question. The question is how you sell. Questions are how we sell. So you ask them the how question. And that how question, it's not, are you currently dissatisfied with your current provider or whatever? They're going to say, no, I'm happy or whatever. You don't want to say yes or no question. You want to say an open-ended, get them talking about how they currently solve this problem. The more they talk, the higher likelihood it is that you're actually going to book a meeting with them. So you ask, how are you currently handling this problem right now? They're going to say, we already send them, most of the time, 4 to 5 times, they're going to say, we already have a clinic. 1 out of 5 times, they're going to say, oh, you know what? We were thinking about switching because ours was slow. 4 to 5 times, they're going to say, we already have someone. Thanks. So fine. That's a brush off. There's more videos I can make about handling objections. Maybe if you want to know, leave a comment down below and I can make another video about objection handling. But you can go through every single type of objection and how to overcome them with my cold call training document down below. So if you're interested, click on that. But the point is, at this point, now you have them talking about how they currently do things. And you go, oh, where do you send them? Oh, that's awesome. That's great. It sounds like you already have this taken care of. They go, yeah, we do. You go, awesome. Where do you currently send them now? Urgent care. Oh, urgent care. How long do they usually wait there? Like 2 hours? Wow, 2 hours. That's a lot of time that they're spending there. Yeah? Yeah, it is a lot of time. Well, we're right down the road from you. We're 5 minutes away and there's 0 wait times. It would cut down your time by a ton. Can I schedule a time with you just to chat with Dr. Harris tomorrow, right? 15-minute call, and you can get some more information about the clinic and decide if you want to send your truckers here instead? Yeah, awesome, great, boom, meeting booked. That's how you do it. If you want more information about how to, the thing is, once you deliver this question and they answer you, the rest of the call is the hard part. But this is how you open the call, and your opener makes or breaks the conversation. So if you get this down right, you're set up properly for the rest of the conversation. Hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to smash the like button, comment down below. If you want my free training, click the link in the description. And if you want a one-on-one coaching call with me, I also have a link in my description, maybe even my comments, where you can book a Calendly meeting with me on the spot and we can chat. Looking forward to it. Take it easy. Bye.